So you're a a pharmacist, and thanks for explaining exactly what you do because I had no idea what that was. And you who enjoys homebrewing, right? So do you ever find those two worlds kind of overlapping?
Yeah, so I think especially it's funny because it's not really what I do in the professional sense anymore. Because like I said, it's more, well, I guess in a way, I kind of in my professional career, it's a lot about like keeping up with guidelines and like continuing to further my education, and then also like knowing especially where I am. So you can really specialize if you want to as a clinical pharmacist. You could be in oncology, you could be in cardiology, you could be a
Interesting.
pediatric pharmacist, you could do critical care or emergency room. For me, what I found that I really enjoyed was like family medicine. So I wouldn't say that I'm like a um, specialist in any one area,
Hmm.
but I really like a lot of like different aspects. So I need to stay like what's stay up to date with what's going on and lots of different things. Um, and I think like with craft beer, it's for me, it's kind of the same in a way. Like I really like a lot of different styles and I like the variety and like learning how to do some of those things. I also think like another aspect of it is when I was in pharmacy school and you're learning how to compound and you're learning how to put things together, you have to be like methodical in how you're doing it. We have whole class, like we have like a whole semester almost on like how to make sure you keep your clean room clean and like sanitation and like cleaning and stuff like that. And so, those are some skills that I also obviously transfer over into home brewing as well. But
Right. Yeah. So you definitely had to have like precision, the chemistry, and your process
mhm.
that you use both in your real world life and with your little home brewery that you have. That's really awesome, man. That's so cool. So with the science background, I'm kind of curious, how do you approach your ingredient selections when building like a recipe? So I guess what I'm asking is like, do you sit there, do you study the spec sheets and try to, or analyze alpha acids, or do you just kind of go with whatever sounds good?
So I feel like when I was first starting, and I think I put this on the form a little bit, when I was first starting, I think I looked into a lot of that stuff a little bit more. And I think when you look up like homebrew recipes, a lot of times you'll find, excuse me, especially like old homebrew recipes, you'll find like so many malts and like so many different types of hops. And I think one thing I've like learned over the years is really to just kind of simplify it a whole lot.
Hmm.
And so I think when I'm designing recipes, I really try to stick to maybe three malts and keep it really simple. And then as far as hops go, recently, and I think I've said this at the homebrew club a lot, but like when I was kind of getting more serious about homebrewing, I bought like a lot of like hops that
Hmm.
it was kind of like a grab bag of hops and it was super cheap. And they would send you 2-ounce bags and there were like 3 or 4 2-ounce bags in a thing. And I can't remember how much it was, but it was like stupid cheap. And so I like loaded up on them. So now I've got a freezer full of hops that I need to use. And so really I just kind of see like what I have and what can fit in. And I've been trying to work my way through those. And then sometimes like if I'm not happy with the beer, sometimes I'm like maybe it's those old hops. And so then I'll go and buy some new hops and, find something else too. But so I think a lot of it is kind of like working with what I have. I also try to like buy a few different grains in bulk. So, I'll get like just like pale malt in or two row or pale malt in bulk, and then I'll get Pilsner malt in bulk. Um, and then other than that, I'll just try to grab some other malts that I think might work for the specific beer I'm brewing or something else. And I'll try to like kind of plan a couple of beers where that way, like, especially because we don't, I mean, you have to go to Asheville for a local homebrew store pretty much. So that way, when I'm making an order, I can kind of optimize and not have to like do another order where I have to spend $100 to get free shipping. So,
So ridiculous here lately. Yeah, more beer. What? But what beer's up to $79, I think recently. I'm not sure what great fermentation's at. I think there's just a 59. It might be 69. It's the only two places I ever deal with. I like
yeah.
Asheville. That's one of those things like again, that's a 45-minute drive, but it's like a 5-minute purchase. I mean, I'm in and out so quick, I don't get to enjoy it. But the store, people that don't know, it's not a very large store. It's pretty small, right? You can turn around, you almost bump into stuff, but he has everything you need to get started, which I think is just phenomenal. Even though it may just be one item, but he's got it.
Yeah, we moved up to Northern Virginia for like a little while last year, and we had a homebrew store there in Falls Church, that was like 10 minutes away. It was so convenient. I once or twice I would like get started on my brew day and be like, oh crap, I need to go grab something, and that was like it was so clutch to have that there. And the Edisonian when that was still open here, that was great too.